Hello. Hi. I'm suddenly here. I've been teleported into the casting desk. I don't know what's happened. I think I just got summoned. Someone said some funky words. If you were listening into the broadcast, there's like bleeps and bloops, and then boom, here I am.
Yeah, I must have brewed up some potion here because I've got Matt Magical with me now. Unfortunately, the boys in the Castor Cabana are having some internet issues still. Maybe it'll work out by the end of the day, but I didn't want to solo cast the third game alone again. So
I don't blame you.
we've got Alex here
Especially
now.
Max, especially after that game 2 banger. I don't
Yeah.
blame you. I would want some help too, and you did admirably, by the way.
Oh,
Applause to
thank you.
you for stepping into both roles, color and play-by-play at the same time, which is also incredibly difficult for most colors to do anyways. But to do it so well, Smacks. Everyone in chat as well, give him a round of applause. He did a fantastic job.
Okay. We're not supposed to be flattering me here in Magical. We're supposed to be flattering Immortals for their win just now. A great game for Immortals Academy, bouncing back from game one. Super impressive stuff. They didn't give over as much as I was really fearing they might after watching the first game. They stayed strong, and their composition actually worked really, really well, giving over those resources to Wild Turtle, which hasn't really worked out super well in the past, but it is finally happening right now. Wild Turtle showing glimmers of that big carry performance that we know and love from many, many years of seeing him play in North America.
It's honestly been just impressive to see how these teams are. Golden Guardians, that was their first loss this entire proving ground so far. Immortals, the team I've dubbed the Giant Slayer, stepping up when it needed the most. A very clutch team to be able to have that kind of performance. It's honestly impressive, and I'm really excited for this game 3 to see how it's going to work out, especially after looking at the drafts from the last games. At game 1, the Poppy support, I'm here for it. Might not have done well in lane, per se, but I'm still here for it.
Chime did look really good in the late game team fights on that one too, and I had a feeling that you might like that Poppy support. Something about it just screams Mad Magical to me. So maybe we'll get some more of that as well. We got some cool concept picks as well. Try to catch you up here because I know you were watching the Urgot and the
room.
Dr. Mundo looked really cool.
Oh yeah, the special concept. I was in my living room watching the games, had you guys on the big screen, and I just get the message like, "Uh-oh, actually, you might have to, come help." Nothing was on. None of my studio setup was even touched because I was just like, "Yeah, it's my off day. I can just relax, take some notes, casual." Get the message. I'm like, "Oh crap, I gotta go get everything online." And thankfully, it's not like it's that far. It's just one room over. So here I am, and I've been watching. So these are really fun games to watch, and we look back towards how these two teams have been performing. And one thing I really do want to set up here, going into Game 3 between these two teams, is the fact that it's Chad versus Ryoma. Both defending champions with 100 Thieves Academy last time when Chad stepped up for the Proving Grounds and they won as a squad, facing off here in what could set them up for a top 4 finish. Winning this singular game will immediately grab them a top 4 finish regardless of how they do in the next series.
And Chad and Ryoma interacted a lot in the game too that we just watched as well. Chad was camping Ryoma so hard in that game. He had to feel for the defending champion mid laner, you know. I mean, Chad also defending champion. You gotta know one. It takes one to know one in that regard. So I really liked that idea there from Chad, taking down the big carry for Golden Guardians Academy and the big scaling factor in that game too, because he was playing Victor. So the fact that he put Ryoma so far behind in that game. It's a really big deal. A much better performance from Chad and the squad overall the entire game. And, you know, for Chad and for some of the members here for Immortals Academy who played in the last split, namely Pretty and Joey, this is their chance to get some revenge over Golden Guardians too, because this is that rematch of the third place match of Summer Proving Grounds 2021, where Golden Guardians won it.
Yeah, it was a big surprise because how Golden Guardians had performed in the previous Proving Grounds, the fact that they were in the bottom of the barrel for Academy in summer, yet made this miracle run. Them and Dignitas alike had these great runs back in summer of 2021, and here we are seeing it is a brand new face of Golden Guardians Academy, and nowhere close to even the same storyline because how dominant they've been. Getting a second place seeded finish for Academy, great turnaround from the team, and Ryoma especially. I do want to even continue to touch on this because I remember an interview earlier on in the split where he talked about how when he was part of 100 Thieves Academy, he was really happy with that environment, but he also wanted to prove himself. He wanted to go to a new team with a whole bunch of new people so he could show he truly is the best mid laner in Academy, and doing it with a whole new squad is a great way to do so.
It was a stellar game in game one, and while he did get camped in the last game, he looked better and better as the game went on up until, unfortunately, he did lose. We're expecting some gigantic performances from Ryoma this year, as well as the last one where he did win everything, and he's been working super well with jungler Iconic also. I want to see them get in down and dirty again, like they did in the first game in this third one, to try to bounce back and not get fully reverse swept on their path forward into Proving Grounds. Because again, we are now at the last game of this series. One win and you are into the upper bracket finals. You'll be playing against the winner of the second series today, Team Liquid versus Cloud9. That series is also going to be great. But before we get there, we have one more game. And it sounds like we're going to get into Champion Select here pretty soon.
Exactly, and I'm excited for this. You talked about Concept. He has a fun champion pool, in my opinion. We've already got some fun things out of Chime. Joey, playing the Yuumi in game one, did really well in the lane phase, but just struggled later on. And look at that. He's still respected on the side of Golden Guardians. They take that away from Joey, along with Immortals taking away Ryoma's rise.
Honestly, I don't know if Joey even wants to play the Yuumi after what happened to him in the first game, but you know, they're not taking any chances on the side of Golden Guardians. They really want to get this win in the bag, and they're really attacking Joey's pool right now too, banning the Zillion for a third game in a row. I was talking about this with Kangas in the last draft, but Immortals has patented the Zoom Zoom duo here, Mad Magical, the Zeri Zillion together. They go so fast, and Golden Guardians want to deny that one.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either because of how Immortals have been playing this entire split. They love to bring Chad down. Level 3, level 4, gank, bot lane. Doesn't matter if it's Arrow or Wild Turtle who's in now with Joey. They make this play every time, and it works 99% of the time. It might be something that you can pinpoint and know how Immortals are going to play. You just can't stop it.
Ooh, interesting here. Golden Guardians did ban out Lee Sin in the last game on red side. That one is still up right now. This could just mean that they're trying to go for that first pick Zeri one more time and giving over Chad Hecarim for a third game in a row. Or they can try to take away this Hecarim for themselves, because it has looked really powerful in most of these games for Chad really winning that early game and being a nuisance later. But Golden Guardians are instead going back to that bottom lane priority for themselves. This time it's Jinx that they give over to Violet, maybe envious of Wild Turtle's late game performance in game 2.
I wonder if it's going to be that tried and true Jinx Tom Kench bot lane. If there's something aggressive coming in from both Wild Turtle and Joey, I would expect to see that. But with that lock-in right there, the Aphelios, not exactly sure if that's going to be the call. It is still useful to have something that can peel for your hyper-scaling AD carry, such as Jinx, especially with Iconic getting that Viego instead of going for the Lee Sin as you were talking about. But it does seem that they have gone for that tried and true.
Golden Guardians really envious of that bottom lane as they just yoink both of those pieces, Jinx and Tom Kench, away from Wild Turtle and Joey this time around. And it's that same level of protection that we just saw Joey able to help Wild Turtle out tremendously in a lot of those late game team fights, as they will have that on their side now. Iconic back to the Viego too, and we're just swapping champions all around. Pretty is taking away the Victor from Ryoma, the champion that he just got camped to smithereens on.
Yes, but this is also a Pretty pick. Pretty does like that Victor. When it was the Victor Corki meta, maybe not so good on the Corki, but the Victor was always his strength. That's where we saw a lot from Pretty with how he was able to play, especially the control mages. But I understand they want to take that away from Ryoma, as you kind of mentioned, because Ryoma is a player who also enjoys that, but he has a very large champion pool alongside that. This is a guy who can play anything that you can really think of in mid lane. I've seen the Yasuo, the Lucian, we've seen Victor, Ryze, Tryndamere, hell, I've seen the Karma, I've seen the Zillion mid lane from him. Ahri, of course, is another one of those champions that he is more than accustomed to playing.
It probably won't be the Yasuo this time, because I don't have the Diana to pair with it. I know Iconic loves playing that champion with him, so maybe we're getting our hopes slightly too high.
Hey,
with
I'm
the
just
Yasuo.
going through the champion pick, Snacks.
It could happen. I don't want to take that fully away from you. But for Ryoma, I'm not expecting that one in this game.
Wait, neither am I, but I was just setting it up. Because then I seem smarter if it actually happens, but it's not. Ooh, that's a nasty.
Wow. Yeah, wanting to remove that away from concept. You can see that there
Renata.
they're really trying to attack that pool. His concept won't get his Urgot banned away, but will take away some of these champions that he has been known to pilot, and namely counter picks too, because for Tony Top, he clearly wants something that doesn't appreciate being withered, and that will be Kennen for the third and final game.
I think that's just a call out on Concept's champion pool. Pretty much saying, I know you can't really play those counters that are normally so devastating for Kennen in this top lane, such as Jace. He's not really as proficient, so he's got to go for something that's more in his wheelhouse, which would be Sion, a sacking lane where you can help out later on, but you're not really going to look to accomplish too much unless Tony Top overextends.
Another tank for Concept, and a lot of protection again for Wild Turtle. Not the Devour this time around, but in another form for Joey, where you are helping him out with the bailout, making sure that if he dies, he at least has to die again before he officially goes down on the side of Golden Guardians.
wait, with Concept, it's even funnier, because not only can you save him,
he has to die 3 times.
But then even if you kill that version of him, then he comes back as a zombie. And so it's 3 times that you have to worry about the Sion. He literally cannot die for so long. It is a zombie invasion nightmare here.
Yep. It'll be funny if that ends up happening here for Concept. Ideally, for Immortals, they don't end up dying all that often. As we get into this one, they are 1 win away from reverse sweeping Golden Guardians and finding their 2nd upset in a row in the upper bracket. Again, a lot of chips on the table here for Wild Turtle, giving him so many resources. The front line, again, is there. And he's playing a champion that has really fallen out of meta in terms of these really powerful and potent late-game carries. But Aphelios certainly does still have that in his wheelhouse, and Wild Turtle after that last game is in the zone right now too, so you want to make sure that he is feeling good with his champion.
And going into this game, our 3rd game, the one that will guarantee you top 4 if you can win it all. Immortals Academy, Golden Guardians Academy, both of them have had a great season, a great proving grounds thus far. It's the Giants versus the Giant Slayers. Golden Guardians, a team that is sitting on top, the number 2 seed, the highest seed in the upper bracket, but it is against the kryptonite of all teams above them, being Immortals Academy.
How funny would it be if Immortals Academy just took everyone down by seed order? 1st seed, Counter Logic Gaming. 2nd seed, Golden Guardians. 3rd seed, Cloud9. 4th seed, Team Liquid. That would be a ridiculous way to fully win out on proving grounds. And while that's looking very, very far into the future and being very predictive, they're on that path right now. Immortals already defeating the 1st seed, move on to the 2nd, and they're only 1 win away from doing it, picking another really cool composition. I like the Renata Glass a lot. I know some of my Colorcaster compatriots, Cubby, don't like Renata Glass. I don't know why. I think Renata does a lot, and it's a really cool enchanter that has some really unique crowd control at her disposal.
Well, what I kind of like about the Renata Glass here is that a lot of the champions on Golden Guardians, mainly being both Kennen and Viego, want to dive into you. They want to see how far they can go and kill off someone like Wild Turtle or Pretty. Renata Glass will stop that just immediately. Even if the Jinx can keep a distance, we'll have Tahm Kench by her side. That's still something that can be abused, especially if you're able to land the hostile takeover onto Jinx. Imagine the damage if the Jinx gets fed. Hostile takeover just one-shots your own Tahm Kench.
It's the only tank that Golden Guardians have on their team in this game too. So if that tank goes away, then what can they possibly do to earn footing in these team fights? That's something that Golden Guardians definitely do need to keep in mind, and specifically Chime maybe needs to keep himself more safe than usual on this champion and on this role that he typically likes to play, no holds barred, diving in and setting up plays for his team, especially with the roams. For Chime, that's something that we'll see develop as this game progresses. Lots of ranged champions on that topic here. Tony, Top, Ryoma, Violet, all playing these marksman-esque styles.
Which one will work out the best? If LCS is anything to live by, we saw Evil Geniuses running a triple marksman comp, well, pseudo marksman comp if you consider Kennen a part of that. We actually saw great success out of it. It drew a Game 5 out of Team Liquid, the number 1 team in the LCS. So we can see here, that works for Golden Guardians. They'll book them a ticket for the top 4. Immortals Academy, they're no slouches here. While it might be a tame early game, it is all about getting to those mid to late games for both squads.
And on that topic there, Tony Top, he's got a cull, so he's at least a marksman for right now. That's a marksman.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, yeah. But what would you want him to go otherwise, Sam? It's like...
No, I'm not saying it's bad.
Okay, good. Because I was about to say, I'm like, this is like the only thing I could think of. It's pretty much just the ultimate flex. It's like, yeah, you're playing Sion into Kennen. Good luck.
What are you going to do to me?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got nothing on me. I could just go do this each time. I don't even need an item if I don't really want to because there's nothing you can do.
I love it from Tony Top, and he's been finding some pretty solid lane advantages.
Oh my God! Wait, sorry. There's another call. Ah.
2 calls.
I join in for a cast, and I want shenaniganeries, and all I'm getting are calls and farming.
I'm sorry, Magical. At least the stakes for this game are high, even if the gameplay
True. You know what? I'm
isn't
excited
going to be
for
as
that.
fast.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm very excited.
You can buy Cull and still play fast, so we'll see what Golden Guardians
Isn't
are
that just
planning
called
for
inting?
us. I wouldn't say so. It's just planning for the future. You know, passive income.
No, but I'm just saying if you're playing aggressively with a call, isn't that just inting?
Nah, it's a good play. Golden Guardians, I believe in them. I want to see it happen. For now, though, they're
you know what? Respect.
They're not really thinking about that too much at this moment. They do have a lot of scaling on their side. Both Corki and Jinx will be monsters late game, no matter how many tanks are on the other side. As long as they have people in front of them, they will free fire. So, for Immortals, that's something they need to consider. They were able to make that happen for their team in the last game. Now they have to be the anti-win condition and deny that away from their opponents, as they are playing a very similar style.
I do like what Iconic is doing here. Invading Chad, even if it's just for some Krugs. You know the Hecarim can't really fight back with how low Concept is as well. Try to go for a good battle around the Krugs as Hecarim. You just lose. The rotation that Tony Top would be able to mount is going to make sure that you're just punished each and every time. That's why another wave getting crashed top lane up by Tony Top, looking to even see if he can chip away and get a plate early.
I don't think Iconic was expecting Chad to still be around when he went out of the brush, but unfortunately for him, Chad still there, making sure that the birthday boy stays alive a little bit longer in this game. Happy birthday, Concept, by the way. It's Chad.
Yes.
He's playing the defensive game very well. He did have some great aggressive ganks in game 2. Haven't seen those quite yet, and there isn't really a very safe lane to do that in, unless you want to just blow a flash and walk away.
While we go down to the bot lane, see how a little bit of control is attempted by Chad, just putting down some wards as well as clearing out both that ward that was in the pixel brush, this control ward that he just took. Might look for that bot lane play that I was talking about before. He is level 4, he goes for level 5. It's a little late in his time frame. Normally, it doesn't matter. He's playing a farming jungler or not. Usually looks for that play, but here, he is giving a lot of respect to Iconic's positioning and where Iconic might match him around the map.
Iconic's Viego is very scary, especially once you get into like the 2v2, 3v3 realm where you can possibly get these resets off on the Viego. He doesn't quite have his ultimate yet. It's still scary though, for sure. So Iconic safety in that regard, can continue farming against Chad's Hecarim and wait until that level 6 hits. Now, Magical, I don't know if you've taken note of this, but in this series, the Drakes have not been a priority at all.
I was about to say, did they even... Ooh, wait a minute. Sorry, got to interrupt you right there because there's an attempted play coming in from Wild Turtle and Joey, but it's going to be Iconic answering that play. No flash available for Chad, for anybody, because Chad is too late to help out. You can see Chime playing aggressively onto Joey, but the shields are keeping him alive. He's kiting back with help of Chad. So he'll survive, but it is at the trade and cost of his ADC.
I like that movement from Chad to keep his support alive, just holding his hand through the end right there. Best friends, as Wild Turtle not quite so lucky with that position and gets stunned up by Chime and is forced to flash to try to avoid that W2. Even with the bailout, can't survive. As we get to watch this replay one more time, Iconic is here first, and that is a really massive deal when it comes to these junglers. Immortals Academy's bottom lane clearly were not expecting Iconic to be this prepared for this play.
I also just think it was a little bit of hubris coming in from the side of Immortals Academy. This bot lane has been doing so well throughout these games, win or lose. But they just expected they could 2v2 the bot lane again, but didn't count on the fact that Iconic could match them while their own jungler wasn't in a position to help back up.
I mentioned before that for Immortals, they are facing a composition very similar to what they just played. They have this Jinx and a Tahm Kench in the late game team fights. If you let them scale up, they will devour your entire team, no pun intended. And you have to make sure that you don't give Jinx this large of an advantage. I mean, she's got Cole, and she's still getting these kills. You're not punishing and making sure that she is not finding any plays with this early game income item. Violet is still able to get that play off thanks to Iconic, and the scaling is online for Golden Guardians.
I mean, I would argue that Violet was kind of just there and survived, while it was Iconic and Chime doing all the work. Wouldn't you say, Smacks?
You know what? Now that you mention it, I would say that, but I don't think Violet did nothing there. He was helping still. You still have to click them on Jinx.
Okay, I'll concede that.
You can't just disconnect your mouse, you know.
And you could. You could if it was wireless. But going into this game, at the moment, you know, it's just kind of about seeing how you can have the ebb and flow of this early game since, as you talked about, Golden Guardians Academy have gone for a composition similar to what Immortals Academy had just done last game to find their victory to tie up the series. But it's not like Immortals Academy's composition doesn't have scaling elements as well. Aphelios might not be as strong as something like Jinx, but Victor, really good. The Hecarim, going to be really good when you get to the later stages of the game. Same with the Renata Glass if you use that ultimate right, especially when you catch out someone like Violet.
And Chad has done a great job on this Hecarim in all 3 games of setting up these team fights on the right footing and making sure that they do eke out some small advantages at that stage. Pretty, the one who has followed up on that most often in this series so far. So we see the blue buff handoff. Pretty has the ultimate, or not ultimate, the laser upgrade there. So the wave clear is a lot easier for him in this game, and it'll make it obnoxious for Ryoma to try to get these roams off, even if he does have the package. I say that, but Iconic has already started up on this Rift Herald, and there's no contest quite yet. I think Ryoma actually is considering using the package right now. It spawns at 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
there it is.
Might as well, especially because there's the Rift Herald up, there's the Dragon up. Ryoma's zooming out of the base, zoom, the little corgi. Love that skin. What's your favorite skin, Snacks? I know this is like, look, it's a slow third game. Oh, I having a little bit of issues.
Oh, no. I just wasn't ready for that question. I think it's probably a Rakan skin of some kind. I really like Elderwood. I think Elderwood Rakan.
Okay, all right, fair. Mine's Zombie Brand.
I also, actually, you know what? I'm going to change my answer. This skin just came out. Orbiana. Orbiana is my favorite.
Okay, that is a good one. I will definitely give you that one. But going back to this game, Ryoma with the package, enough to scare off Immortals from even attempting to go towards that pit. They knew better. They knew what could happen if they decided to go into that pit and try to fight the Corki package up. Would have been devastating. Probably going to be Ryoma. Yep, there it is. Using it purely to clear out the minion wave.
Yeah. They already took the Drake objective, so didn't need it quite yet. It's Joey. Oh,
Joey.
No.
No, he didn't spot that out at all. Flashing way too late, putting the bailout on himself, pulling back with a handshake, but still dies. It's Chime. Now with the exhaust onto Chime, getting a little bit of damage coming in with the Devourer on top of him. They're trying to see if they can burn down Chime. The flash comes in for ready to get the kill for Chad.
Chime not quite tanky enough and doesn't have his flash for a few more seconds here. It's a trade of 1-for-1, but a favorable play all the same as you get another kill onto your squad here for Golden Guardians, and you deny a lot of that momentum early on to Joey too. That's the big ultimate for Renata Glass. She doesn't have that if there is going to be a Rift Herald play. For Golden Guardians, maybe without slicing Maelstrom, they don't want to do it anymore. But they already got that first objective off of this game, and they can keep looking for more as it progresses. We watch this replay one more time. Look at Chime, man. I love watching Chime.
Chime's so good. There's a reason why Chime's been one of my players to watch this entire split. I think he's one of the best performing supports. I think him and Ayla and Breezy are right there in the conversation for who's going to be the best.
I really like that Pretty got his ultimate down before he got devoured there. That's the reason that he actually did trade a kill back over. So Chime, not quite expecting all of that damage from the Victor ultimate, comes all the same. And we're seeing in the aftermath here as we come back to live. Concept's got a hull breaker. He is ready to take these turret
yeah,
platings.
that's what I said. I said earlier about, and then it cut to the replay, so I didn't get time to talk about that.
Yeah.
I just see Concept showing up, and I genuinely liked that.
Yeah.
You know, I looked at what can Zion really do to Kennen, which is nothing. So why not just build a hull breaker and make it even more nothing? So that way now even the cannon can't do anything.
He's probably going to be tanky enough in the late game team fights too, to where it's going to be completely all right. So yeah, I really like this purchase from Concept. It actually gives him a win condition to think about, where Tony Top can't just, you know, farm up his cull and wait until the team fighting phase. He does have to consider what will happen if he leaves Concept alone, and what will happen is probably just that his turret will die. So
exactly, yeah. It's a rough position now to be in as Kennen for Tony Top. He's got his TP available. He'd always use that once that Slicing Maelstrom is back off cooldown, but then that's probably going to be the turret take. Now we go into the bot lane. That was a nice root pull back in as well, but nice Devour from Chime keeps Violet going on steady.
Good look there from Chime. He had a feeling that the jungler is there. You don't just throw out your Moonlight Vigil willy-nilly on Aphelios like that.
I mean, you can if it's a bluff, you know?
No, you definitely don't do that. Especially not the purple one. If it's the blue one, then maybe, because that deals a lot of damage.
See, now I know the strategy to play with Aphelios. You've just sold me on my own new strategy that I'm going to do if I ever play Aphelios, which is never. I'm going to use that just to scare people off, to make them think like, oh man, this turret's getting low. I don't think I can fight back. Moonlight Vigil. Haha, they'd never suspect that, especially with purple gun.
I mean, knowing you, you'd probably be playing AP Aphelios at the same time and doing that. Yeah, I know. I didn't know that, but I did know that, you know?
It's one of those things, it's like you hear it, you're like, oh, I didn't know that, but I really should have known that.
Yeah.
It's like AP Viego, I'll still stand by that.
Of course, of course. You got to get on the really Yukino Cat Viego build. The lethality crit one, it's a fun time.
Dude, that's 3 years old. Come on, give me something new. I've done that well long ago top lane.
Okay.
Acting like this is something new to me.
Well, we're gonna have to change the name to the Mad Magical build. I'm sorry, Yukino. You did all that innovation for nothing. So we've got Joey trying to defend and invade.
By me 3 years ago. And yeah, let's go back to this game. You're on the right call, Sam. Let's get back into this game because that's actually what's important. This is do or die right now for both teams if they want to remain in the upper bracket and guarantee their ticket into the top.
That's a lot of turret damage. That's full turret.
They get it. Ooh, that's a nice play there from Golden Guardians. Getting Violet. That was solo for Golden.
Yeah.
He got that all on lonesome. So if we get to see the gold difference between the marksmen at this point, that is going to be a big swing for Violet. Keep in mind, look at that. He hasn't even backed yet, and he has nearly a 2,000 gold lead over Wild Turtle.
He hasn't even sold his cull either, so that's going to be a big bump too. This is a good advantage for Violet in this game so far. The cull paying off. You can't complain about it in that early game anymore, Magical. That was a great
call. I can definitely complain about it, Smags.
Nope.
There's no action.
You can't
Where's
complain.
my shenaniganeries level 1?
They're trying to win the game, Magical. You can't complain about that.
Okay, you know what?
They're trying to get into the upper finals.
Okay, you know what? Not gonna argue it. You keep besting me here, Snacks. Like you're the color caster or something, and I'm just the all-brain play-by-play who goes, haha, run at the enemy.
Oh, Violet took so much damage right there, but Pretty.
Yeah, Pretty's just dead. No, Pretty. There's no reason for Pretty to be there. I kind of saw that. I was debating whether I wanted to even play-by-play that, but I might play-by-play this one. Because Wild Turtle's forced to Gale Force away. Ooh. There's the heal too. Flash as well. 2 sums and Gale Force off Wild Turtle. The dragon is surely Golden Guardian.
If the handshake didn't come through, it would have been a 3rd summoner spell at least, as Joey would have needed to flash. But regardless, Wild Turtle, no defense mechanisms of any kind means that Golden Guardians get their 2nd Drake off of the Rift. And more importantly, another kill onto Violet. This guy has so much gold at this point. It is so scary for Immortals to deal with. And they have won all of the early games up until this point. This has been the exception. Immortals have really set the pace of this series up until this point, but they don't win the early game this time. They don't really have a solid, clear late game win condition either, and they may have let their series go off of this early, where they give Violet so much extra agency.
Unless they can kill Violet, it's going to be a difficult task for Immortals Academy to find victory here in this mid game. Normally, this is the point where you're like, okay, Aphelios has got the gold lead. He's going to have a good advantage over Jinx to lord that going into further minutes. But here, not so much. 2,000 gold behind. Violet got the protection of a Tom Tench Devour as well. Don't have to worry about anyone jumping on top of your Jinx, even if you try to go for the fight like this with Time overextending himself. But he does have, no, he doesn't have the flash available, so he can't get away. And there comes the coward's charge right onto the backline to get the kill on that Jinx I was just talking about. Is impossible to kill.
Violet got hit by the Renata ultimate right there. I can't believe that. He was definitely outside of the range, but he must have just walked directly back into it because he did get Berserk, and Joey sets up for his team to pick off 2 kills and a Rift Herald off of that. This is the early game that we were promised from Immortals in the last 2 games. This is them actually finding aggressive maneuvers and trading favorably.
And I do want to watch that replay. I have to say, while I was building up Chime, that was definitely an overextension in his part. He's over here trying to get a little bit of vision control for his team to be able to get that Rift Herald, but then he's just caught out. They just focus him so they don't have to worry about the Jinx until after. He's like, I'm going to watch this. Oh, what? That? Oh, okay.
This might be weird, but I think that Chime thought that those Chompers were wild turtles.
Oh, that could, especially because he did just play Jinx.
Yeah, I think that he thought that he was forced to W there.
Because he didn't go back as quickly as he thought. And now Chime, this time not overextending. His team just not there to help him out. Pops thick skin, getting a couple of rockets. This is where they can re-engage with TP in behind. Kennen on top of Joey, slicing Maelstrom. It's huge. Tony top coming in clutch as he dives in. Excited Jinx. Now they can chase down Wild Turtle. No escape. The zap does not connect, but it doesn't need to. They have won this fight.
Tony Top saves the game for Golden Guardians Academy with that teleport. 3-man slicing Maelstrom, and he takes another kill as well. These resets are here for Violet. 4 for 0 on the play, and Golden Guardians take a gigantic gold spike into their hands right now. Magical scaling is here once more. 4 kills for Jinx.
But the big thing that you had talked about is Tony Top. This TP is what makes this play work perfectly. They didn't clear out the control ward, so he has the optimal opportunity to flank.
Oh my god, look at this position here. And they funnel directly into him because Ryoma and Iconic are charging them up in the front. They have nowhere else to go. Even after they flash over this wall, Violet is so fast with the getting excited. He gets 3 kills off this play. He's got 4 to his name, and the turret is dead. The only thing good for Immortals is that this didn't happen after 20 minutes because there's no Baron to be taken for Golden Guardians. Apart from that, it is a disaster.
Absolute disaster for Immortals, but a great play from Golden Guardians to capitalize the catch and release from Chime there. Like I said, he wasn't really caught out that time. It looked like he was going to die, but he baited long enough for the rest of his team to collapse upon Immortals. He got great plays, great flanks, great angles. They have 2 dragons with the Hex Tech Rift now on the map. Full control on the top quadrant of the map around that bear.
Golden Guardians have a sizable lead now. This is huge for their series on the line as they are just 1 win away from getting all the way up to that upper bracket finals. And as you said before, solidifying a top 4 finish. They got top 3 in the last proving grounds, and they want to bring that back with an entirely different roster. They've got members that have been in the Golden Guardians org for over a year now in Iconic and Chime. The rest of them are here trying to develop and trying to show that they are LCS worthy, especially that mid laner in Ryoma. He's been around for quite some time, always so consistent in Academy and in LCS as well. He got a year there too, but it's really the Academy games that have really stood out to me and to a lot of viewers here for Ryoma. Winning this would be so huge for making that statement again that he is here, he is ready for that next step again.
Right now, it's a bit of an ARAM coming in for both teams. Good body block concept, but nice devour from Chime keeps Iconic alive. But with the Hextech Dragon having spawned, you see the TP coming in from Ryoma. He wants to get that package and see if it can show up in time. But this can be bursted down pretty quickly. You see it's already been started. But Iconic, Violet, they're both below 50%, so this is going to be risky for them to step in the pit. There goes Tony Top with the flash code, but a hostile takeover to getting the shutdown on the Jinx. And they've got Iconic on the other side. Tony Top, it's a huge slicing maelstrom, but what does it accomplish if your team is dead?
And Ryoma wasn't there. He didn't have the package available. He was waiting in the base, and he doesn't have teleport to arrive. Now he packages down the rift for nothing because the team is dead. Tony, as you just said, was not able to get the follow-up that he had in the last fight with his slicing maelstrom.
Oh, no way.
And it completely peters out as Immortals. They're on vision, but they're going over to this Baron. Ryoma has package. This is super risky.
He does. Here comes the TP in from Concept. Time, Ryoma both here. Waiting out 12 seconds until Tony Top TP into this fight, but you got Concept this entire time.
Chad's
focused
so
on
low.
Ryoma, getting so much damage on top of him. Just fighting this entire time. Has to use the package defensively. The Baron secured by Immortals Academy. Unless that... Oh, the rocket nearly stole it away.
The birthday boy saves the play by teleporting in on Sion and completely stopping all momentum that Ryoma's package had. Clean Baron for Immortals Academy as they take a fight, an objective, and then another one. Full control over the Rift at this point, and everything that I just said about Golden Guardians is now true for Immortals. They are so close to moving on to the upper bracket finals at this point.
Let's take a look at this replay, and I'm focused on that hostile takeover that came in there from Joey. That, honestly, is what made the play.
It really is. Joey, so clutch with that engage on the Renata ultimate. It's been hit or miss so far in this game. It's been really hard to combat the Tom Kench power that this champion has. But Joey finally doing it, and doing it in a huge way in that fight as well. Immortals, now, what all can they take off of this Rift? They did take that top lane turret right now, looking for some more. They're currently in a position where they're forced to trade because Tony has a push in bot.
Might as well just let him. Got TP advantage over you guys at the moment, so you just get a lot of damage onto this tier 2 in the top lane. It will be Tony Top getting it for free, might even get a little bit of harass onto the inhibitor turret, but with that recall coming in for free, can deny the turret from being taken fully by Tony Top. So this allows Immortals, Wild Turtle, Chad, Joey to stay here in the top lane and continue the push.
Minute and a half down on this Baron. That's half of the duration, and they've only been able to trade up one turret, apart from the fight that they had, of course, before. For now, Immortals will have to back away and see if they can get anything done, namely on that bottom lane. There's a huge bit of standing gold there with all those structures, and Immortals would definitely benefit from this, because again, they do have two big scaling threats on their team. Pretty, Victor, Wild Turtle, on the Felios. These two can carry these games. They've done so in the last couple, where Wild Turtle really took over that last game on the Jinx when he had his big front line, and Pretty as well was able to do so much work on Akali there too. They can potentially just win this game for their team if allowed to, and yes, they will go down to this bottom lane to collect their gold.
And I'm just watching, seeing how pretty much this matchup is now built around Violet and Ryoma against Pretty and Chad. Wild Turtle will pump out a lot of damage, but with the low range, it's going to be difficult for him to get into the back line unless there's another huge hostile takeover from Joey. He's done it twice this game, maybe the third time for Charm as well. Here at the moment, you have to be careful.
Look at this teleport.
That
Look at
TP,
Tony Top.
I was looking at that as well. Where is Concept without
They don't
TP?
see him.
They've already spotted him out. He's waiting. They might have spotted him out. There it is. They spotted him out with that control ward, so they know better than to overextend this one, especially with Concept on the wing, waiting to see if he can re-engage on top of Tony Top. He's running back towards his team. Just a little bit of harass on the way out.
Oh, that was a nice try for Tony Top. He's
I
really looking for that engage. I was holding my breath a lot right there. I need better breath control. That's what today has taught me. Is we have Immortals.
Hey, Max, again, I applaud you for what you've done, and here we are in Game 3, and we couldn't ask for a better one.
Oh, I know.
You already had a banger of a Game 2. Then to come into this Game 3 where it was looking like Golden Guardians were just going to win out because they were getting the early game on the late game composition, but somehow Immortals have clawed themselves back to nearly even, actually slightly above the gold of Golden Guardians.
All those structures that they just took, bolstering their gold to that slight lead right now as they move over toward this fourth Drake on the Rift. They've got all these members here. They want a big fight. They want to use Joey's ultimate to large effect again. You have to imagine the Wild Turtle is waiting for that flash to come up to have that extra bit of safety. But once that is there, Immortals are firing on all cylinders, and Golden Guardians need to find a way to combat that, because as of right now, the past 3 or 4 minutes have been all Immortals Academy. Golden Guardians had a strong lead, and they've given it up. They've given up so much pressure away from them, and they were looking so good early. They actually did win an early game, which wasn't true for the other 2 games. Now Golden Guardians have to keep winning the late game.
And that's my problem here as well for the side of Golden Guardians Academy. They finally get this early game lead. They're doing so well, and then mid-game, it falls apart off the back of Joey's hostile takeovers. And they nearly clawed it back again after that first hostile takeover that won and barely clipped Violet for that first shutdown. Then Tony Top had an amazing flank with the TP around Dragon that completely cut off Immortals and allowed them to get 4 gold back onto Violet, only for the shutdown to happen again the next fight.
Immortals, they were able to sneak away that Drake and not trade too much away. They still retain this lead. Very small at this point, as it's just about dead even, honestly, if you look at the top of your screen up there. 2 gold, the gold's 2 even, there's 2 Drakes on both sides. Even the turrets are really close, so for both of these teams, they are definitely in a position where it's going to come down to execution. You really do need to show that you are the better team, you have the better teamwork, and you have the better mechanics so that you can win this game not only for the rest of your tournament, but for yourself, trying to push to the next level, trying to make it into that LCS conversation come summer split.
Well, make sure that you can reclaim that title that you had once had as the champions of Proving Grounds. Chad, Ryoma, facing off on the other side of the rift. Both of them fighting admirably, but look at that. Nice devour comes in time to keep Tony Top alive. That's their main engaged source, so if you lose Tenon, you're going to lose a lot of what you can do into the back line of the portal.
Miscommunication there, though. Tony did flash. He doesn't have flash here.
Pretty,
wow,
and
what an
that's
angle.
Takeover. Going to get the rocket flash with Pretty on the other side. There's a lot of damage onto Violet and Ryoma on the other side. So looking to see if they can chase down, but look at Tony Top. He is waiting. He is positioned to re-engage the fight as they get Pretty to recall and TP back into the fight. Unless he gets spotted out here. Oh, Tony Top inches away from stopping the recall. But Pretty's TPing back pretty deep back at the turret. And here comes another TP in from Ryoma. Both of them answering. A lot of damage. They'll flash away, but I gotta try to follow it up. That's the package coming in from Ryoma. They've got damage onto Pretty. He's dead. The bailout's not enough, even with the kill coming in from Sion. He'll die in zombie form. 2-4-1 at the moment. Golden Guardians favor. They're not done just yet. They can continue to fight this one out, especially because they're about to get the TP coming in from Tony Top. And there goes Joey, the flash for Chad. And look at how excited Violet is. He wasn't able to get the zap, but the pony has to cowardly go back to base.
Golden Guardians take 3 members off of this rift. Chad staying around. There's no way. There's no way he's going for this play. He's trying to stay here and go for a steal. Okay, no. He's just going to be taking away these camps. They're not going to start up this Baron. Oh, my word. That would have been insane. But for Golden Guardians, they're able to take that team fight. And Tony didn't have flash there either. That was going to be really tricky for them. And it's all about execution, as I was just saying. But Golden Guardians, they still find the execution. Violet is so safe in this team fight as we watch it one more time. Big highlights here. Look at Violet. He's able to buffer out the Renata ultimate by using his ult.
That was clever.
That was really cool because you're not auto-attacking when you use that. So I really like that play from Violet, and it keeps himself alive and it keeps his team alive because they don't have to take all of the Kraken Slayer crits from their own Jinx.
That was very clever. Honestly, I was confused too. I'm like, you're at the rocket. And then I realized, oh, he's not auto-attacking.
Yeah,
oh,
really smart.
That's so big. That's so big brain for Violet. And then here, to re-engage onto Pretty because he TP'd pretty far back from the team and got split off by that pack.
No TPs there for the mid laners after that play, and Ryoma clearly getting the better end of that trade. As we come back onto the Rift, it's still the same song and dance. Both teams are looking for some edgeway when it comes to this Baron. No package here for Ryoma, and no flash for Tony Top. Again, makes it very tricky. So we're seeing Concept and Chad, they're on the retreat for now, but look at where Tony Top is. He knows that he can't just take a full-on 5v5. He actually does need to get creative, and in the meantime, he's got this teleport. Just go bot lane. Try to get another push.
Keep the waves going in your favor. See if you can start getting your slow push towards the enemy inhibitor turret, so it will force someone without TP on the side of Immortals to have to answer that. That's why Immortals at the moment contemplating, do they go for the Hail Mary play to just force out the TP coming in from Tony Top, or do they wait it out? They're a little worried, especially because they don't know exactly how deep the wards could go in the flanks before Tony Top can beat.
Golden Guardians, there's so much tension right here. You can see it in the way that they're moving. They don't want to face check anything. They want to drop these wards, and that's why for Concept he's got that knock up onto all these members. You got to be super careful with this one. Golden Guardians, they're moving into the Baron pit at this point, and we might just see a full-on trade because so fast. What?
Wow, that is insane how fast they took that. With the Dragon spawning up in a couple seconds, it will be a trade because it's going to be pretty fast on this Dragon take as well. But Jeez, I did not expect Golden
Yeah.
Guardians to get it in the blink of an eye.
That was the fastest Baron I think I've ever seen. Definitely in this tournament, but Violet, 4 items on this Jinx. That's going to happen to you. As Immortals, they'd get the consolation prize of the Drake. Might not be just a consolation if they can get one more of those later, but they have to overcome this Baron buff. 2.5 minutes remain on that one. Immortals need to not lose their entire game off of this one objective that they just gave up so brazenly. Violet can take these turrets very quickly. I think it's going to be a full reset if Immortals allow them to.
I don't think that they want to just let them go away cleanly.
They don't get a choice,
You want to
though.
at least get a little bit of control, but you're right. They have no control on this factor. The range from Golden Guardians is what's really starting to do in Immortals Academy at this point. They have a difficult time even clearing out the waves. You see that from how Pretty has to clear out the waves in front of Golden Guardians. He's got to be the person stepping out in front of his entire team. And as a Victor, that's not how it should be, but you just have no other alternative.
Big part of the damage there is Victor and Aphelios. There's not a lot of movement between those two champions, and there's no stasis on either of them either.
Oh.
Just one Gale Force between the two of them, and it's Wild Turtle who gets the controller this time. Sorry, Pretty. We need to see both of them play very safe, but also deal maximum damage to actually overcome these fights, because Chad, Concept, and Joey are really just not going to be able to do it. That's not what their champions are built to do. Chad didn't build for damage either, so they do actually need to overcome all of these carries on the side of Golden Guardians, and they've got Baron. They don't have Corki Package, but Immortals need to find some way to stop their inhibitors from falling. That'd be way too much pressure to overcome.
I want to bring up the conversation around Violet. He has been the player that they've really highly indexed towards in this game. The player they brought over from the PCS, 6A, he stepped up really big for Golden Guardians, subbing in immediately, and that's why Chime had to get used to playing with a whole new ADC, but you can see how he is adjusting well and how well
Here it
Violet's
comes.
been doing. There's going to be a nice ult, but the better Devourer on the other side to make sure they're not going to die. Now they go for the dive, but they're getting a lot of damage onto Chad. They're forced away. The Gargoyle Stone Plate damage is going to be not enough to keep him alive. There goes Pretty too. He just popped in the fight. The zombie gets nothing for himself, while Golden Guardians continue to knock at the door, saying they want that top 4 finish.
They've got the teleports here, Magical. They might just try to go for the end right now. 20 seconds on this Baron. Tony is in the base. He's looking for some sort of engage. Can they end the game right now? Can they end the upper semifinals and progress in this tournament? They're trying.
They are definitely trying. They got minions starting to pour into the base as well with a lot of damage onto Wild Turtle underneath the next turret. He even got one going golden, but look at the damage. The bailout's too late. Golden Guardians get the final ace of the game. They will make it to the top 4. This is our top Academy team at the moment, and they're here to find victory.
Such long games to get there. A very stressful best of 3, but Golden Guardians clutch it out. They win their first early game of the series, and they close it out from there. Well done to these guys. Well done to Tommy in mid lane for continuing to show up in the Academy League and continue to try to prove to all the LCS orgs, hey, I'm still here. Sign me for LCS, please.
Honestly, I gotta applaud the side of everyone on Golden Guardians Academy for that game. There were definitely issues at some points in the game, but they really did understand their composition towards the later elements. They understood they had better pokes, superior wave clear as well. They had that great engage potential from Tony Top that they could utilize so long as Chime keep Jinx alive. That's all that mattered.
I love compositions like that because you have a very clear carry in mind when you do something like this, and it gives a lot of pressure onto that one player to perform. This time it was Violet, and he did exactly that. Magical. You can't ask for a better performance from the bot laner of Golden Guardians Academy to close out this series and take them to that upper bracket finals. We're going to find out who their opponent is later on today as well, and I'm sure Golden Guardians, they're not quite done with League of Legends today. They do still need to do some prep and watch what their opponent's going to do in this next series.
And I was looking up to see who our losers here, being that of Immortals Academy, will face off next as well now that they are knocked down to the lower bracket. Going to be between the winners of Dignitas Academy and FlyQuest Academy. And as you talked about, we will have Golden Guardians moving ahead. They have guaranteed and stamped their ticket to top 4. They'll face off against the winners of our next series, Cloud9 Academy and Team Liquid Academy. Make sure you stay tuned.